Another question for you. I'm sorry that all the questions are going to you. Personally, I'm a little bit worried by almost the ease of God as a response. God is almost defined, or God is generally defined as outside the human sphere of consciousness. God is invisible. God is not in one particular place. If we search the entire universe, we could not possibly find God. I feel like this definition of God as completely outside the human realm of testing is a simplification, or not a simplification, but too easy of an answer.
Well, do you mind if I ask you a question or two in response? Okay. You experience an external world, right?
Yes.
But the external world you experience is experienced through the lenses of your five senses.
Yes.
Can you give me an independent proof that the rest of us could accept that your experience of the external world actually corresponds with the external world out there? Can you prove that?
I probably could not.
Okay. You accept the existence of other people, other minds, other souls, other people out there, right? You believe that there are other people in the world. You're not the only guy on earth, right?
Right.
Okay. Do you think you can give independent demonstration that doesn't rely on your own subjective consciousness at all, since we can't see that other minds actually exist?
I think it's going to depend on my subjective consciousness.
Exactly. All right. So there are large spheres of human experience, consciousness, love, morality, that rely on the subjective dimension of human experience that can never be produced under a microscope and under a telescope, and yet you couldn't live 1 second or 1 day without them. Your whole, in fact, far from matter creating mind, isn't it true that the entire experience, our entire experience of the world comes through our consciousness, which is an irreducible starting point of all experience. Without that consciousness, we have no window into external reality at all. True?
True.
Okay. And yet all of that you take for granted as having an independent existence. You go through life perfectly willing to accept consciousness, reality, other people, but somehow when it comes to God, your standards change completely. Suddenly you go, oh gee, I've sent people into outer space. I haven't seen any big man with a beard out there handing out stuff. So how can I really believe in that guy? That's all I'm saying to think about.
I think the slip in what you just said is in saying that consciousness is irreducible. Consciousness is where each one of us starts, of course, with our own experience. But then, thanks to our developed scientific worldview, we can pool the experiences of others. Of course, we need our own experience to do that. And then we can turn that tool back on ourselves, and we can study our own subjectivity. We can study our own consciousness. We can have theories of human consciousness. We can understand what makes us tick. And there's nothing irreducible about it. We are on the, of all things to say, at this point in the 21st century, when we are making such tremendous progress in understanding the machinery, if you like, of consciousness, that strikes me as just preposterous.
Yeah, okay. My question is about intelligent design and evolution. Where do you stand, each of you, on the issue? Was God a product of intelligent design, or did he evolve?
Was God a product of intelligent design? No, yeah.
I think he was.
Okay. Well, I think some concepts of God are a product of human design. I think that is some conceptions of God are very clearly contrived by individual human contrivers. Some religions, I mean, Scientology is a religion. It's entirely the result of human, deliberate design. Whereas other religions, like Christianity, say, and more generally, is itself a product not of intelligent design, but of evolved design, culturally evolved design, where most of the design moves, most of the R&D was unwittingly done by humans passing on their traditions in the same way that languages are unwittingly designed. So I think that the concept of God is indeed a product of that sort of process, in the same way that the harmonic scale is a product of that sort of process. As far as the intelligent design movement in America, that's just a hoax.
Next question. Yeah. Well, let's put it this way. Einstein's laws are the product of intelligent design, but it in no way follows from that they don't describe a reality and a reality independent of those laws. So you're committing a genetic fallacy in saying that because human beings have conceived of the idea of God, therefore it's a made-up idea. It doesn't follow at all. Human beings could well have conceived of it, and it could well be describing an independent reality. Now, I don't agree with intelligent design in the way that it's mostly understood as basically a way of fighting with Darwin. Did the eye evolve, and did the dog and the wolf have a common ancestor, and so on. That's not my argument. My argument is that the validity of the intelligent design argument is completely valid when applied to the universe as a whole. And here's a very brief analogy to illustrate that. If you and I were walking on the street and we saw a car, an automobile, we would know immediately that it's the product of intelligent design, right? The molecules didn't fly up and all assemble themselves into a car. So that's the universe. Now along comes Dan Dennett, who says, wait a minute, I want to show you the wheels of this car. These are the different life forms. And I want to show you that one life form, in other words, the life forms can be produced without external intervention. They operate according to natural forces that are within the car, meaning within the universe. I would argue, so? The evolution of the part in no way refutes the intelligent design of the whole. So if the universe as a whole requires explanation, Dan says it doesn't need explanation. Even David Hume, the great skeptic, says we can never say anything so ridiculous as to posit an effect without a cause. So the universe, I would submit, with all its laws, does require some ultimate explanation. We would be really ignoramuses if we just said, well, it's just there. Imagine if you use that explanation for other things. The crater, it's just there. The dead actress who's been found in Hollywood, the head just appeared. No one really did it. No detective work is necessary. It doesn't need a cause. Well, it does need a cause, and if you're going to posit a cause, the most reasonable cause is to posit an intelligent designer that made it that way.
Hi, this question's for Professor D'Souza. You maintain that the Big Bang must have had a cause, as you've been going on and on. However, this, in effect, created the universe that is grounded in such rules of cause and effect. Yet, at the same time, you also maintain that, as humans, we are creatures of free will and choice, and therefore are exempt from this universal canon of cause and effect. Does this not strike you as a gross inconsistency, at best?